Standing Rock Sioux are fighting for their land, the right to clean water, clean air, and their history. And they're not alone. The Standing Rock Sioux have been joined by thousands of others, including members of hundreds of tribes from throughout the United States. Last month, while I was in Nevada, members of the 27 Native American tribes we have in Nevada made it clear to me they stand in solidarity with the Standing Rock Sioux. But I do too, Madam President, and here's why. Here's why I joined with the Standing Rock Sioux in calling for an alternative route for the pipeline's construction. It's past time this situation be resolved peacefully. It has lingered for months, and the debate has descended into violence. What is happening at Standing Rock is a movement that has captured the attention of the entire country. But we should understand the context of what is taking place. We should be mindful that the history of this region is fraught with disputes, and very few of which, if any, have been resolved in favor of the Indians. This region is fraught, I repeat, with disputes between Native Americans and the United States government. Disputes that originated more than a century ago, but in the minds of the Indians, they're still very much alive. In the 1980s, Congress pushed the Sioux to reservations. In the 1890s, Madam President. Congress pushed the Sioux to reservations, took them off their ancestral land, jammed them into reservations. Speaking from knowledge I have, what they did in Pyramid and Shoshone in Nevada is unbelievable. Put them in the worst places you could find. And that's what they did to the Sioux. In the 1890s, they pushed the Sioux into reservations. Then, 2 decades later, in violation of all the treaties they had, they built dams in the Missouri River that shrunk the size of the reservations even more. And then in the 1940s, the United States built yet another dam, putting the Sioux most fertile land underwater. I don't intend to have all the answers, Madam President, but I do know from experience that progress is possible when cooperation and respect form the foundation of fairness, especially on issues related to tribal rights and environmental concerns. They're exposed to more pollution than most Americans. That's the way it is. We don't talk a lot about the people who are severely impacted by a century of practically limitless pollution: Indians. This is not an urban-rural phenomenon. It's everywhere, and it's dangerous. Can the people of America expect our newly elected president to intervene on their behalf against the big polluters? Can the Standing Rock Sioux tribe depend on the man who was financially invested in the Dakota Access Pipeline? Probably not. What's happening at the Standing Rock is about respect for people, where they build their homes, where they raise their families. The violence and aggression against Standing Rock Sioux in North Dakota is a tragic example of the failure to respect people of long-standing grievances for how they and their natural resources have been treated. No one can see this more than Indians. The Standing Rock Sioux protest of the Dakota Access Pipeline has everything to do with the history of broken promises and institutionalized disregard for the rights of their own land, as well as the trust relationship between Indian tribes and the federal government of the United States. While most stakeholders want a speedy end to this situation, they must understand that overreaction to protesters, violence, and disregard for our history undermines the likelihood of a mutually acceptable solution and rubs salt in the already festering wounds. There's no reason that this situation cannot be remedied in a manner that's fair to all. 300 people have already been injured. Grenades, dogs being sicked on these Indians. Freezing water being sprayed on them in freezing temperatures, below freezing temperatures. Our Native American tribes are looking to the federal government for help. For once, let's get them some help rather than just continue taking from them. They want to believe that after centuries of wrongs, the United States will finally get it right. Indians want to believe that after, again, so long of being treated with no respect, that the United States will help and not hurt. Relocating the pipeline to a more suitable area away from the Standing Rock Reservation would be an easy and historic step in the right direction. For the sake of our country, I hope that happens.